Hello, subscribers. Hello, future subscribers. I'm so grateful for you that you are watching this video. I really want to put this book on your radar, and I've been meaning to do this for a while because this book is so important. It's called Cobalt Red, and it's by Siddarth Kara. And I first heard Siddarth Kara on Joe Rogan's podcast, and I ordered the book right away. My son told me he always recommends different podcasts to me because he knows what I like. And so I got this book right away. And I just want to say this book really broke my heart. I mean, I had to stop reading it several times and I just sat and cried. I cried because there are people on this planet that are actually living this way. They are slaves. No matter what anyone says, these people are slaves and they are living and working in the worst conditions imaginable. And all this is happening. I will add some links. I will add some links, YouTube links, so you can see some more videos. A student of mine has confirmed everything in this book. He's from the DRC. It's ironic that it's called the Democratic Republic of Congo because it's nothing. It's not a democratic republic whatsoever. Well, China owns close to 90% of the mines. Even those that are focused on safety and sustainability are that in name only, in word only. My hat really goes off to Siddarth Kara because he risked his life to do this research. And I really hope some good comes of it. There are other people that have tried to do this and they have been killed. There is an intense interest in these mines and in these companies for this information to not get out into the world. These people are at the bottom of the technology and green economies, and no one is looking out for them. Where is the United Nations? Where is the World Economic Forum? Where are the stars in the US that are so passionate about different causes? Where's the civilized world? And can we please help the people of the Congo? One of the endorsements is by Adam Hochschild, author of King Leopold's Ghost. He says, with extraordinary tenacity and compassion, Siddarth Kara evokes one of the most dramatic divides between wealth and poverty in the world today. He reports on how dangerous, ill-paid labor of Congolese children provides a mineral essential to our cell phones, and this will break your heart. I hope policymakers on every continent will read this book. It's not just our cell phones, it's our smartphones, it's our electric vehicles, it's our rechargeable batteries. And I felt like such a hypocrite when I read this and when I watched the podcast because I had no idea. I had no idea that the smartphone I'm using is creating so much pain in someone else's life. I'm just going to share a really short story with you. It's just a couple short pages, but it says, when a tunnel collapses in Kasulo, most bodies are never recovered. These are from the mines. The family members are unable to give their loved ones a proper funeral. They are compelled instead to walk each day upon their dead. That is the reality no one up the chain wants to see. That is the truth that is meant to be forever buried here. The cruel design of a tunnel collapse makes sure of it, and everyone knows it. Perhaps they count on it, the impenetrable silence that obscures the vast tally of severed lives upon which great fortunes are built. Amid the tragedies, there are a scant few who by flukes of fate survive the brutal efficiency of a tunnel collapse. They were somehow just close enough to the surface and managed to cling to life just long enough for someone to dig them out. One such survivor was 17-year-old Lucienne in Kasulo. Lucienne sat morosely on the ground of his two-room hut. His mother, Alexandrine, and his father, Josu, sat next to him. Josu made it clear that he was not happy with my presence. "What are you doing here? Why are you here?" he kept asking. I told him I had come to understand what happened to his son. "Look at him. You can see what happened." "Yes, but could you please explain to me how he was injured? What good will it do?" If people outside the Congo learn how children like Lucienne are injured when they dig for cobalt, it may help improve the conditions here. "It will not help my son." "No, but maybe it will help someone else's." Josu scoffed, but he eventually agreed to let me speak with Lucienne about the accident. Lucienne was tall and lean with piercing eyes. Both of his legs were shattered, feebly held together by metal rods. He seemed to be in a heightened state of agitation. Blood pumped in quick pulses through a bulging vein on his forehead. He clenched his jaw rapidly as his eyes darted across the space in front of him, as if searching for something to focus on, to still his mind. Lucienne started to speak a few times, but quickly pulled back. With his mother's gentle encouragement, he managed to recount the ordeal. When Lucienne was 15, he started working with Josu at the site of an ambitious tunnel complex in Kasulo. There were more than 50 men and teenage boys working in several groups to excavate the complex. At more than 60 meters, the main tunnel shaft was one of the deepest anyone ever described to me. The main chamber at the base of the shaft was large enough for all 50 diggers to gather. They dug 3 additional tunnels that branched off from the main chamber, following various veins of heterogenite. They had air pumps and water pumps for each tunnel. Every artisanal miner was outfitted with a headband, light, and a pickaxe. Lucienne, who was the hard worker and managed to earn $5 or $6 a day. He felt proud that the income helped pay for the school fees for his 3 younger siblings. The family had food to eat, including chicken once a week, and they were able to buy new clothes from time to time. The morning of the accident, Lucienne left home after breakfast with his pickaxe to dig at the complex. Josu stayed behind as he was recovering from a cough and a fever due to working in the mine. In low tones and without a gesture, Lucienne described what happened next. At the end of the day, a group of us gathered in the chamber to organize our exit from the tunnel. We had a rope tied to a tree that we used to climb up. I was near the front with my friend Callie. He took the rope first. I was beneath him. We only climbed a few minutes when the entire tunnel fell around us. It happened so fast. It was like the ground swallowed me up. I could not move. I could barely breathe. My heart was burning inside. By God's mercy, some people started to dig for us. Callie and I were close to the top. The people pulled us out. According to Lucienne, there were close to 50 artisanal miners in the tunnel complex at the time of the collapse. He said that only he and Callie survived. It is not clear whether the main shaft alone collapsed or also the chamber at the base of the shaft and the other 3 tunnels. No one knows what happened to the others. If all the tunnels collapsed at one time, they would all die quickly. But if only the main tunnel collapsed, they would be trapped. Maybe after a day or 2, the air would finish them. Although Lucienne survived the collapse, he suffered multiple fractures in his legs. His parents could only afford 1 surgery at the hospital in Kolwezi out of at least 2 or 3 that the doctor said he needed. His 3 younger siblings were forced to leave school as the family could no longer afford the fees. Lucienne's wounds had not healed fully when I met him several months after his surgery. His face appeared pale and feeble, and the condition of the bones in his legs was unknown. Lucienne received no post-operative care or physical therapy. It was entirely possible that his bones had not refused properly or at all. Looking upon her ailing child, Alexandrine was beside herself. "How can my son live like this? His life is ruined," she said. She said that if her husband had not been sick that day, he might have died in the tunnel with the others. Josu remained silent throughout the interview. I understood why he was reluctant for his son to relive this tragedy. Before I left, Josu grabbed my arm and looked at me with the face of a man on fire. Now, do you understand how people like us work? I believe so, I said. He said, tell me. You work in horrible conditions, and he said, no, we work in our graves. This is one of probably at least 50 stories in this book. And I just really want to encourage you to get this book today. Order it. You can order it off Amazon. It will come to you in a day or two. It's just a book that everyone needs to read. I really want to do something to change this. I'm just not sure what that is and what difference little old me can make. But I'm willing to be a part of something to make this change. And at the very least, please watch Siddarth Kara's interview on Joe Rogan's podcast, and let's do something to help these people. This is modern day slavery, and it really needs to end. Thank you.